After 2 years, with the Red Cross doing absolutely nothing for the hostages, they have finally condemned Hamas for something so disgusting. Hamas actually dug up parts of a body that they had just buried. I mean, parts. Called the Red Cross in and showed the Red Cross that they just discovered a couple of body parts. We have it on video to witness this horrific crime. So let's start with Trump's 20-point peace plan. On our side in America, the president, the vice president, and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, keep saying the peace plan is working. The ceasefire is still in effect. I don't believe it because Hamas is still shooting at Israeli troops, and it doesn't seem like there's much cooperation. What are the challenges to get this whole 20-point peace plan actually to work?
So let's start by fulfilling the first phase and the first objective of the ceasefire, which is bringing back all of the remains of our hostages to Israel. That was the first point. Just to enter the ceasefire agreement was bringing back all the living hostages and also all the deceased hostages back to Israel within 48 hours. Well, that was already 2 weeks ago, and the deceased are not brought to Israel. And the annoying part about this is that Hamas knows where they are. And the IDF just released footage of a drone that is showing Hamas members going to an apartment inside the area of Gaza, in which they found a remains of a hostage, and then they took it, put it in a hole in another location, and then made a phone call to the Red Cross to say, come, we're now looking for the remains, we need your help, bring us some tractors, so that it will look like they're doing the job, and then they will get more heavy machinery to maintain and to redevelop their terror tunnels instead of finding our hostages. So we are again dealing with the same Hamas, same tricks, same manipulations that we've been dealing with for 2 years and 25 years if you want to go backwards since Hamas took control of the Gaza Strip. So it's going to be very hard to maintain this ceasefire agreement. It's already been violated every 3 days by Hamas terrorists. We have 3 IDF soldiers that were killed because of Hamas violations. They just popped out of a tunnel on the Israeli side of the yellow line and launched RPG rockets and sniper fire at our troops that were doing their jobs, which is making sure that the terrorist tunnels and the terror infrastructure of Hamas is dismantled on the Israeli side of the border. Hamas needs to do this on their side as well. But it's going to be a long process till we get to the second phase of this deal, or even negotiating what is the second phase of this deal, which is supposed to include Hamas dismantling, handing over the Gaza Strip to a party of international forces, and then a Palestinian neutral party that is not involved or comprised of Hamas. But each step or each point that I said now has multiple challenges along the way, and the top amongst them is the fact that Hamas does not want to give up its power and control over the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip.
Well, you brought up an interesting point. You're covering all my questions, which is great. Amazingly today, which has never happened, I believe, in the history of this conflict, the Red Cross actually came out and condemned Hamas for taking parts of a body. The rest of the body was returned to Israel and was buried in a military ceremony. The family was grieving. Everybody turned out. They said the prayers for the dead. And then Hamas found more body parts of the same guy and made it like it was a new discovery. I've seen the drone footage. They dragged the parts from an apartment. They put it in the ground. They bury it. And then you see the Red Cross driving up like, look what we found. The Red Cross actually condemned Hamas. I think it's the first time in the history of the Red Cross that they actually found something that Hamas did wrong. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, you're correct. And it's not new. And this is not the first organization that Hamas has been controlling and infiltrating in the Gaza Strip. Basically, many of these international organizations, I would say apart from the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund that was controlled by the United States of America, are infiltrated by Hamas terrorists, are abiding by the agenda of this terrorist organization and its puppet masters in Iran, Qatar, or Muslim Brotherhood. And this time, I think it shows that we are watching, and not just us. The United States has a close cooperation with Israel, and it operates drones in the skies above the Gaza Strip, which is not a big place, so it's very easy to make sure that you are covering everything that's happening there. And you can see with your own eyes that Hamas is violating, is playing games, and is trying to manipulate the public's opinion regarding the ceasefire. So immediately after the ceasefire agreement that took place by Hamas, Hamas said, because of the Israeli violations of this ceasefire, we are withholding the return of the remains of the hostages. And this is a statement by Hamas officials. Well, they violated the ceasefire this time. They violated the ceasefire that we had with Hamas on October 6th, before October 7 began. So they're acting like a terrorist organization with X. When they're weak, they say, let's have a ceasefire agreement. Let's keep it quiet for now. And then they rearm, rebuild. And when they feel strong enough, they launched another attack against our forces, and another one, and another one. So this is why we should completely annihilate Hamas from the Gaza Strip, for the Palestinian people to have a better future, and for us to have peace on our borders.